Good morning, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim with a Sneaky Snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And we're going to talk about this coming watch list, this coming week's watch list. And I'm going to show you a couple tricks of the trade. If you're having a hard time trading right now, create a good watch list. I'm going to say make it short and sweet. 5, 10 tickers, 10 at the most. And then add on, make them bigger as you get better and better at it. But you got to have yourself a watch list, and you got to monitor these stocks that you're watching. Just don't go in here and start picking them out of the blue. Make sure they have good volume on them, great news, and we're going to go ahead and go right to it. So this is my platform in the morning when I'm talking about stocks. I got my little TV on here with Schwab, my message center that tells me stocks that I have alerts set and stocks that I have breaking out. I have a certain strategy that I use. It's called the Ready, Set, Go, and it helps me get along when I'm in a trade like the SPX or the SPY. I kind of get an anchoring of where resistance are and where support is, and if we're ready to go ahead and have a go on it or if we're ready to go ahead and sit on it. So like right here, we had a Ready, Set, Go triggered, and we run up just a few points, about 6 or 7 points, and then we started pulling on back, and the thing was finished as she started falling down. So that's just one of the strategies that I have for the message center. And then this is my watch list. I have it set at volume high. So the first thing I come in here and do is I look at the ones that are breaking out. I'll go ahead and I'll hit percentage gainers and losers. We have SMCI, DraftKings, AMC, AMD. AMD, I think is getting ready to reverse, but chips are in a little bit of hard time right now, especially with what the Biden administration has done with China and the chips. They don't want to sell chips to China, I guess, and NVDA is getting sued, and that was, I think, number one on my watch list. And then I'm looking for the breakouts. AVGO was breaking out and had a breakout on Monday or Friday. And it was one of the volume leaders. Upstart, WBA, TSM. TSM's a pretty good one to be watching this coming year of 2025. They're building factories in the United States, so they're going to be getting a lot of good news. I think TSM will be a great trade this coming year. MU's got earnings coming up this week. Be in the now. Have your watch list. Be in the now. What's going on, So MU's going to be having earnings coming out this coming week, and we got Tesla with the animal spirit in it right now. So we can't take Tesla off the watch list. We got a firm on here. These are all stocks that broke out on Friday. So I come in here and I look at the volume highs, and I'm going to go down the list of stocks that I think that we want to be watching, that I think could have a continuation pattern, or we could have a little bit more of a pullback. Now I've done the supports on this one here already, so we're going to go ahead and erase them real fast, start fresh. Now I know NVIDIA got pressed last Friday with China. They're putting an antitrust against China right now, and Apple's facing the same kind of $1.2 billion lawsuit in California. I mean, I can't wait until Trump is in office. I just can't wait. I think we'll have a lot better run in the market. We've had a great run, but I think part of that is because of Trump. Look who they run him up against, Kamala Harris. Couldn't even, the cackle in and then not speaking to the press, and her last 4 years of open borders and wars and high inflation. You'd be a fool to try to vote for someone like that. Said she wouldn't do anything different. Man, I'd want to get out of these wars. I'd want to shut these borders down, and I'd want to get this inflation down. Save some lives for once. I don't support human trafficking. That's another big issue that she had. So we're going to go ahead and it looks like MU gets an investment from the White House. That could be a pretty good deal. Also, that's probably why another reason it was green. So we got NVIDIA. We got a triple bottom right here. I'm all about chart patterns, remember, being in the now. So I know this support level right here, if that doesn't hold, then we could drop more. We could drop down to the next channel, which would be right around here, and then that bottom channel right here on this here spot here. We have that support level at 128.99, 129, and then we have another one here at 126.82. But it's got to hold this triple bottom. If it doesn't hold the triple bottom, we do have a resistance. We have a descending triangle, which is bearish, pretty bearish. So we could come back up and come back up. But NVIDIA's, like I said, China's pissed off. They get 17% of their income from China. So we just have to see. AVGO, here's another good one. I set the Fibonacci's on this a little bit ago. We're going to clean this up. This one here had a great run. Let's go to the daily 1 minute. We had a great breakout. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, this was down here at 157. We're up $70. So we need to consolidate a little bit, and I'm going to try to consolidate on that breakout. So I want to take the day low, which is right here. I'm going to set a Fibonacci on the 24-hour period. Whoops, that ain't the right one. Fibonacci. And we'll come down here at the very bottom and run this on up to the very top. And this is your support channel right here, and we got definitely support right here at 221.42 for AVGO for your first support. I'm going to go ahead and put it right there, 221.17. So if that doesn't hold, we'll get down here into this here channel of support, which would be 38% pullback from the top, then 50% and 68. But this is real bullish. I can't see it going down to 50%, but if it does, that's going to be a very strong buy. Maybe right here at 221.17 and no lower than that come this week. So I'll be watching it real close. We got Tesla on here. Tesla has the animal spirit. This thing is a monster. It is a monster. And let's clear the drawing set. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame on the 20-day. Monster, 302 to 435 in a matter of 20 days. We need to consolidate, and I'm going to show you a chart here that I have up. This is called a linear standard deviation channel. 65% of the time, they like to stay in that first deviation, but if it does break out, it could break out to the next deviation, leaving this 448 as a support level. For right now, we broke the double top on the 20-day, and let's go ahead and bring this to a different time frame on the 1 hour. Do the 90-day 1 hour. So we're up at that second deviation, or that first deviation in a way, for resistance level, and we double topped. So if this thing pulls back any, we'll go to the minute time frame on this, because this is very, 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 very bullish. And 65% of the time, like I said, it stays within that radiant of that first deviation. So we're going to take this straight to the minute, or the 5 minute, 5-day, 5 minute. We broke that double top, so your first support's going to be right here. And resistance to break's going to be that 481 something. 448, I mean, 81. Did I say that? So the first support, we've got a head and shoulders right here. It could drop down to that, but this is, I mean, I'm very bullish on this stock. So maybe it comes back and hits the 200 here at 227, no lower than that this week. I'm going to use the moving average for a support level and resistance to break. Let's get into a 1 hour time frame here. It's going to be right around that deviation channel of the first resistance, right around 441, a little bit under 441. pretty much right on 441, with a low support at the bottom of that channel that we had on Thursday's close at 416.72. So I go to the 1 minute. I want to be pretty precise with this. Here's a beautiful yin-yang spot at 431.25. I really like this area right here a lot. If that holds, we're going to be game. This is a stock that you want to trade on a pullback in the morning when they knife, and it's a great opportunity to jump in this trade. So if we come in here and right it open, and this thing pulls back and hits that bottom deviation channel right there like it did here, we could have us a pretty good trade back to the upside and maybe break that 441 area. And that's going to be Tesla. I really like this stock a lot. So the next one we have on here is AMD. It's took a spill also. NVIDIA stock misses out on the big chip rally after Broadcom earnings. So Broadcom was really a hot one. AVGO, we already talked about it. AI chip maker. I want to read the news. I got to be in the now to kind of get me in the mood. Is there some bad news that caused this stock to pull back, or is it just a sister play to what happened? There's a lot of news on this. It's like they threw all their money in Broadcom and AVGO. I love the lady that runs this company. She's the woman trader of the year, or the woman CEO of the year. Also, President Donald Trump named person of the year, beating out Harris, Musk, Middleton, Netanyahu. So we just keep this in a very good spot. This is in a real good spot right now. I'd keep a good close eye on AMD. If it does decide to hold support, it has to hold that 125.21. Let's go out a little bit farther on this on the daily. Yeah, this is pretty solid. This is a double bottom. We could hit that low support and have a double bottom on the yearly. But definitely keep AMD on watch come Monday. Then we got SMCI. Here's another one that had some controversy with bookkeeping, and then they found out there was nothing wrong. We had a nice little breakout from 1725 all the way up here to the double top, or the shoulder line of this here head and shoulders, or into the gap fill. That's what it is. So that's going to be resistance to break, 48.67. And if that happens, we'll hit the 200 EMA and hit the top of that gap right there. So that's at 52.11, somewhere around that area, just a little bit above that 200 EMA on the yearly daily. We'll go back to the 1 hour time frame on this. We got a yin-yang support right here where we have a previous high, resistance, and then we have a support level. So I'm going to run a trend line from that candle right there, if I can get it on there, to that candle right there. And run it up to the bottom of these here double bottom. So that's a triple bottom play right now in play. This could easily find support here and bounce back up. If it doesn't hold this support, it's a pretty good drop on down to the next support level. So you want to keep, if you're not having it, if you're not getting it yet, you want to keep your watch list really light. No more than 10 stocks that are always constantly mentioned in the news, stocks that have volume. You got to read the news and keep updated on that news. So if 10's too many, bring it to 5 and just watch them 5 stocks. I did a seminar one week where I just traded 5 stocks, and I got in and out of them trades I got in and out of every one of them trades during that week period. Some of them I've traded 2 or 3 times. So yeah, keep it small and keep it simple and keep it fresh and keep up on the news. You gotta read the news. It's that important. The news is an indicator of which way it's going. Listen to these fat cats talk, you know. They'll also be a big help. Now I'm looking forward to Uber this coming week. Oh, let me finish up SMCI. So we've got this low support. I really like this spot right now. And we have what you call an expansion pattern. So if that thing doesn't hold, oh, that's way too low. That's way too low. So that ain't going to be one to look at. That's kind of like a little expansion pattern, but that ain't going to work. Probably this next support level right in here. You had resistance, 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 support, 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 support. So if this doesn't hold this here support level here at 32.26, it'll drop down to just under 30 bucks. And that'll probably be a strong buy for SMCI. No pun intended. Uber is next. I've got good ambitions for Uber next year. Elon Musk is definitely going to be in charge with the taxi robo car, and they're going to come out with a better economical car for the average citizen to go ahead and buy one for probably less than 25 grand, which is going to be a big catalyst to get these people in these EV cars. Now, I do not want to see the government get involved too much in this, like Biden did. Biden screwed it all up. He threw billions and billions and billions of dollars to General Motors and Ford, and now he's thrown it at Rivian. He had like a $7 billion grant he gave to Rivian just a couple weeks ago. A failed company, just like what we're funding the war in Ukraine, a failed war that we don't need to be involved in. But that's the way it is. So Uber, I think we're going to have a good chance to have a real good turnaround with this stock for at least 10, 15 bucks and get out of it at a double top. I'm going to be watching it close. And then we got Mara related to Bitcoin. We've had a pretty good pullback on Mara. I've got lower supports, no lower than 20 bucks on this trade if we do decide to pull back more. Or I'll be using these moving averages for resistance levels back up to maybe a shoulder line at 27.90 this coming week. And I'm very bullish on Bitcoin and coins in general. We've got the ZAC coin in Zach's room, FU Money Club. And I trade Doge and Shiba and Bitcoin, so those are my three favorites. So keep your eyes open on Mara and Riot and Coin and Mister. Mister's had some issues. Then you got WBA on here. We got a double top coming up on WBA. This is Walgreens. Now they had a takeover news maybe coming up with Walgreens, so this could be a takeover deal. You want to buy the dip, see if it can come back down here to support just under the 200 on the 1 hour time frame. That's the 200 EMA, or it hits the SMA, or it hits the EMA and bounces off that. Right now it's 939. That's a dollar dip. But those averages move, so you have to keep looking at your 1 hour time frame. And then we got the SPY on here. I trade that every day. I look at it when I'm trading the SPX. So that's the SPY. Be watching it close. They got Apple on here. Apple's got that 1.2 billion lawsuit in California. What the heck? Some of these fines ain't even, I don't know. They can get whipped. So that's kind of it. Have you a great watch list? I'm going to be going through these are volume highs. And then if I wanted to look at ones that have took a sell-off, I'd be watching maybe AMD. UAVS had a big run. This one had a real nice run. So I'd be watching this falling wedge. See if that wants to break it past the 63 and run it back up. It could drop some more. Definitely can drop some more. Our next support is right around this triple top breakout. This is UAVS. I think they make drones. $448. If that doesn't hold, that's a triple top. So that means that's pretty close. If that doesn't hold, then we're going to drop down a lot more. Maybe back to 339 on this Fibonacci that I set up. We got NVIDIA. It's definitely pulled back some. We got to keep a good eye on it. Adobe had a bad forecast. See, I know all about these stocks because I watch them every single day, and I'm keeping updated on the news. Then we got Zuckerberg. Now, the progressive liberals on Wall Street might not like the fact that Zuckerberg is now becoming a GOP, and there's going to be less censorship on Facebook, on Meta. So I'm bullish on this trade. We definitely pulled back to the shoulder of this here, right here, this previous high, where we had a quad breakout, and it pulled back there, but it can pull back more. And we also got a trend line right here. Let's clean this up. So we got a resistance to break, which is the shoulder line of this head and shoulders. Actually, it's a little bit higher now. I'm going to show you two tricks on this thing. From there, whoops. Back up past 630. This is Meta. We got a head and shoulders right here, inverse head and shoulders, with support right around that 611, 612 area. $612.73, or it comes down here to a triple bottom, a quad bottom. Right around 606 something. So that's going to be this coming week on Meta, or she just goes ahead and breaks on out and hits this 631. Meta, OxyContin, I mean, Buffett got into Oxy when Biden was in office because he knew that oil prices were going to go up. Now with Trump in office, the oil prices are going to go down. So I don't know if he's out of the trade or not yet, but Oxy, 47.20 for a double bottom. This could be setting up for a flag, a symmetrical flag out of the snake. So it's one to definitely watch for a breakout when it starts to squeeze this coming week. Biden's been a blessing to oil companies. Trump won't be that much of a blessing. They'll just be drill, baby, drill, and there'll be more jobs created. So he's going to be a blessing also. But the prices will go down. That means the food costs will go down. That means energy costs will go down. So that means car prices will go down. Car sales prices will go down. Used cars will go down. We're going to make things affordable for the average American instead of just the fat cats. They don't care. They got the money. But our major, close the borders, Get inflation down and stop these wars. And then stop the fentanyl drug deal and the human trafficking. CCL's got earnings coming out this coming week. This one also has a flag. It's going to get ready to break out. So if it drops down and hits a double bottom, at 25.36, this could be a buy. And if we get a knife on it, you know, some 24.32 area, there's a lot of good little spots in here. I'm very bullish on this. I was a lot more bullish when it was at 16. So there's kind of your three supports. We've got another one right in here somewhere. Those are all your four supports. And then resistance to break will be the 63 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. We got earnings coming out on Nike this week. Nike's had a little bit of bounce, a little bit of animal spirit in it. It could easily pull back to 75.92 or 76.25 and be a good trade. Or it holds this here double bottom right here all the way straight across at 76.74. So I'd keep a good eye on this. We did hit that 76.74. I just now realized it right here. So we'll see if that holds. That'll keep it bullish. If not, we'll drop down a buck and a quarter, and see if that holds. And if that doesn't, then your third support is going to be at 75.52. So keep your watch list small. Look at the volumes on them. Now here we got the green. We got AVGO. Why is this up so much? Upstart. Check that news. Upstart shares are trading higher after Needham upgraded the company from a hold to a buy with a $100 price target. So that's a catalyst. And we got to come up and break the double top right here. 87.04. If that doesn't break, I'm using the body of the candle, then we'll go lower. All-time high is at 88.95, so keep a good eye on Upstart. Upstart holding shares are trading higher on that announcement of an upgrade in price. WBA, this is a very volatile company. As you can tell, you really like to buy it when it's down here at the bottom channel of the Darvis box. If not, she'll break out and move on up to higher levels right around 11.09. That'll be a quad top breakout. Got 1, 2, 3. TSM's on here. I'm bullish on TSM. I'm really excited about TSM. So it's one that you want to put on your watch list. Tesla, Firm, ARM, PayPal is starting to run a little bit. ARM's a good one. Boeing started building the 737s again. So guy traded this with me down here from the bottom when we got out last week. We have two other resistance levels to go, but this thing could pull back and find support first at 166.04 and then maybe 162.10, 15, or she goes ahead and breaks on out. So Boeing's back on the cards again. We got CrowdStrike. We have 1, 2, 3 triple top breakout. I have resistance channel up here to keep an eye on. Let's take this to the 90-day, 4 hour. 376 and then 392 long if that thing decides to go ahead and break the top of that resistance channel. So that's the resistance channel this coming week, or she pulls back and lands on this bottom support level of 347.65, which is a $20 drop. Excuse me. Mirrors on here. Home Depot pulled back to the 200 on this 4 hour time frame. That could be a solid support, but we had the previous resistance breakout, and that's where it closed above, so we can move back up. But that 200 right around 411.63, I'd watch for it if the 416.26 does not hold. Zim is under 20. Walmart's on here. And cost. So that's about it. Just kind of keep that watch list small. Go over it every day. Read the news on your stocks. Have 5 tickers, maybe 10. And just go through the news and see if there's anything that pops up through your watch list that would be worthy of a breakout or maybe a pullback. This is the sneaky snake trading strategy where I like to talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And right now, being in the now at all-time highs with a new president that's very bullish in the market. I mean, he rung the bell of Wall Street Friday. Come on. Hello? Tesla. So this is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And have a great day, retail traders.